Hey everyone, it's Linnea, and welcome back to another video in my Valentine's Day card series. Today I'm going to be using the Monster Mash stamp set from Sweet Stamp Shop, and I've selected a couple of the stamps, the Girl Monster, and then two of the little eyeballs, and I'm going to be stamping them in Memento Tuxedo Black ink so that I can do some coloring with alcohol markers. So I'm going to be using some Spectrum Noir markers, and for my first little pink monster, I'll be using FS6, PP1, and PP3. And I am not an expert in coloring with alcohol markers. I just started, so I apologize if I'm doing this incorrectly, but I'm just starting with a layer of my lightest color, the FS6. Then I'm going in with PP3, my darkest pink, and I'm just laying down some areas where I think the shadows would be. Then I'm going to come in with PP1, which is my mid-tone color, and I'm going to start blending out the darkest color, and then I'll go all over my entire image again with FS6. And I'm sorry I'm zoomed out so far. This was my first video where I do coloring on camera. So if I ever do this again, I'll remember to zoom in closer. So I'm doing another little monster in yellow. So I have CT2, CT3, and CT4. And I'm just going to be following the exact same process I did on the other little monster, starting with a layer of my lightest color, then going in with my darkest color, blending out with my medium color, and then going over the entire monster again with my lightest color of yellow. So now I wanted to give some color to the little eyeballs here. I didn't want them to be stark white, so I'm just kind of outlining in my lightest gray, IG1. Then I'm going to go in with the blender and just soften those edges. So it's not stark white, but you can't really tell that the eyes are gray either because the blender takes away some of that pigment. Now I'll be coloring in the little flowers, and I'm going to be using LV1 for the outside and LV3 for the center of the flowers. I wanted to have the eyeballs be actually colored, so I'm just taking TB1 and DG2, these are a light blue and a light green, and I'm just drawing a line around the black pupil, and then that'll give the illusion of a green eye and a blue eye. So I'm taking a Fisker's Circle Punch, and this is the 1/4 inch, and I'm just going to be punching out the tiny little eyeballs here. And then I'm going to be using a circle die from We Are Memory Keepers, and this die is actually, it's a little bit less than a 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to use my Big Shot to cut that out. So now it's time to do the sentiment, and I'm using Tuxedo Black ink again, and the Clark's ABCs from Lawn Fawn. And I have a couple sentiments. I have Be Mine and this XOXO sentiment. So I'll trim those out with my paper trimmer. My pattern papers are coming from the Lucky and Love collection by Allison Craft for Echo Park. My background pieces are measured 1/8 inch smaller than my card base, and then my text paper is measured to the same height, but just 2 inches wide. I'll use some tape runner adhesive, and I'll stick those down onto my background pieces. And then next I'm going to be arranging my little monsters and the little eyeballs. So I have a big and a green blue eyeball, and a big and a green, a big and a small green eyeball for each of my cards. So I'm arranging them where I want them to be, and I want it to look like these eyeballs are kind of floating out from behind this little monster's head, almost like more eyeballs coming out from behind. So I'm just using a black pen, and I'm going to just draw in some lines. And then I'm going to mount all of those with foam tape. And you guys have seen me do this before. I'm just going to use some silver thread as an accent. So I'm looping it around my fingers, pinching it in the middle, and I'll use a little glue dot to secure that behind my little monster. I'm going to be cutting my sentiment strips at an angle so they can peek out from behind my monsters. So I'm just using my EK Success Cutter Bee scissors to do that. And then I'll be taping them flat down onto the card base. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of my monsters. And I'm going to stick that down on my card on top of the thread. So the foam tape will actually hold the monster and the thread down. So I picked up these little puffy heart stickers. These are by K & Company, and I got them at Target. There's a whole bunch of different colors and different sizes of these hearts, and there's quite a few on the sticker sheet, so I really like them, and I thought I would use them today. And now it's time to decorate the inside of the card. So I have this Happy Valentine's Day stamp, and this is just from the dollar section at Michael's. So I'm just inking that with my black ink. And I'm going to take a piece of the leftover pattern paper from when I cut down the paper to fit the front of my card, and I'll glue that down at the bottom. And then I'm going to use some tape runner adhesive, and I will stick down my paper to my card base. And those are the 2 cards for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!